wanted to share a couple ways that this study really impacted me. And the first is that I realized, maybe like some of you, that how short I really do fall from being this imaginary woman that we've been studying about. My husband and I have been married for 28 years. We have a good marriage. We make a great team. We've had our share of troubles over the years, but for the past 17 years, since we made the Lord the center, we're able to make it through our trials and those things that come along. It's pretty doable at this point. But the first week that I started doing this study, the Lord showed me areas definitely that I need improvement in. Things that I can do better in my marriage to care for him and to bless him in ways that I haven't been necessarily. And even as early as the first study, the first day that I was working on the lesson, I started making changes. I started striving to be better, to be that better wife that I know that I could be. Some of them are just small things, small changes that I've made, but they've already had a positive influence on him and on myself too. And another way that I was impacted was by studying those scriptures and really digging deeper into the Word. The way that they related to what we were studying was amazing, and she had us all over the Bible. And in studying Proverbs, I actually started reading a proverb a day. Maybe you do that. There is one for every day of the month. I've done that before, but this time I feel like I'm able to understand them better. Just by studying 31, I feel like it's opened everything else up to us. And it's really given me some great insight into a couple situations that I have going on in my life personally, not related to my marriage. So I can honestly say that the study has changed me, and it's given me a stronger desire not just to be a better wife, but to be a better servant for the Lord.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me okay? All right. Heather asked me if I could see my notes, and I said, I'm just praying that the Lord gives me good vision, because I had it in my head that I just wanted to carry one piece of paper. So, they're little. My name is Shani. I have 3 beautiful girls. We all come here to Calvary. We've been here for a while. I love women's Bible study. It's really precious to me. And I think my first reaction in reading Proverbs 31 was, oh great, one more thing that I'm going to fail at or fall short of. There's no way that I can ever be all the things listed in Proverbs 31. But she's exactly who I want to be. She's who I think we all hope to be. How great would it be to be her, right? So I really doubted, though, my ability to achieve those capabilities and of reaching that mark. But throughout the study, and especially in listening to the teachings from Missy and Becky, I was just really relieved to be reminded of the fact that this is a journey and a progress, and that we are a work in progress, and that God helps us with the progress and the process of attaining those goals, and that He equips us and supports us in making gains in these areas, and that it's not of our own strength. And I'm just reminded of the verse that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Throughout this study, I also became really grateful that God loves us enough to have high expectations for us. And He desires for us to become all that we can become. And I thought of us moms, a lot of us are moms or grandmas in here, and we set the bar high for our kids, and we want them to attain good things, and we support them along the way, and we want them to pursue their talents and abilities and to just develop in morals and ethics and become good, God-fearing individuals. And I thought, this is the same that the Lord wants for us. He loves us enough to set the bar high and to want us to attain these things. He's constantly sculpting us and refining us, and I'm just grateful that I can be a work in progress for Him, and that He loves me enough to continue to have me be a work in progress. He's never done with me. He's never decided he's going to give up on us. So I'm thankful that he loves us enough, even though that refining process can be painful. It's for our benefit and for his glory, as Pastor Raj says. And then I think one of my favorite parts of the lesson was when we had to write one word to describe the character traits of that verse. And it made it less overwhelming for me. I liked focusing on those words, and when the big picture seemed overwhelming, I could just look at, just be generous, be hardworking, be kind. And I like to run those qualities through my mind. And another mom angle, it just reminded me of asking my kids to clean up their room, and my 3 precious girls who have destroyed their bedrooms. They will say, "Oh my gosh, Mom, it's so much work. I'm never going to get it done. There's way too much to do." And I have to give them baby steps, like put all your dirty clothes away, put your shoes away, put your books on the shelf. And I just look at it as kind of the same way for us. If I can just focus on being kind, being generous, being all those quality traits that we learned about in Proverbs 31, then I'm taking the next step in becoming a Proverbs 31 woman, and we just have to keep taking those steps. And lastly, I completed this study at home. I wasn't here for Bible study on Fridays, and I missed you all very much. Like I said, women's Bible study is really close to my heart, and I was sad that I couldn't be here. But I didn't want to miss out on the growth that takes place during these types of studies. So I got the book and I did the studies on my own at home. I did each lesson, and then I would watch the teachings on Calvary's website. And there's probably a better way to do this, but I'm not a very techie girl, so I couldn't watch them live, and so I would just wait, and I would check the website every day and see if the video had been posted. And it would be like Christmas to me when I would see Missy's face pop up or Becky's face. I'm like, oh, good, it's on here. And so I would listen to the lesson, and it was just real sweet. And I just wanted to encourage you that even if you can't be here in person for the studies, to consider doing them at home and to not let that stop you from coming to events like today. My husband and I always say Calvary Prescott feels like home, and you can always come home, and you're always welcome at home. And so I just want to encourage you to come home to Calvary Prescott, even if you haven't been here, and come to these events. You'll be welcomed, you'll be scooped up, and not to let that stop you from coming, even if you didn't get to participate here in person along the way. And then just one more piece on that, watching online. It's really ministered to my heart. There's times where I've just really wanted to be fed more, and it's not Wednesday yet, or it's not Sunday yet. And you can go back online and look at all those teachings, and they're all on there. And I love to do that when I'm getting ready in the morning or I'm driving in the car. And you can push pause, and you can push rewind, and you can watch twice. And it's just real special. So just to remind you that that's out there. And I think it would also be an opportunity to maybe connect with friends or family members who don't live here and who aren't able to come to the studies in person, but you all could coordinate, completing your workbook and watching the services online, and then call and discuss them. And I think it would be sweet time. So thank you, and just keep on going. My husband told me to say, keep swimming. Keep swimming. But anyway, keep going. Yeah.
Hello, ladies. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tracy. I've been married to my husband, Dave, for 18 years. And Missy approached me to ask me to share what I, was learned or was blessed by. And obviously there's numerous things that stood out to me. But the thing that, God pressed upon my heart is when Missy first came to ask me to lead, I've never done anything like that before. I've never taught anything biblical. I've not led a group. I've only been at this church for 2 years, so I don't even know a lot of the women. And of course, in my head, I'm like, no, but to Missy, I'm like, well, I'm not qualified. I've never done anything like that. That's not really my gift, And so Missy's like, pray about it. So obviously I talked with her, I talked with my husband, I prayed about it, and obviously I said yes. And then that next week, Heather is speaking us and telling us, you guys just need to be vigilant, because you're doing this, Satan's going to be attacking. So the first week I was very diligent. I spent so much time in my study. I was very diligent in praying. I asked several other people in the church to be praying for me. This was just something that was very new to me, and I felt very, very unqualified, and things went pretty well. I wasn't even really having any anxieties or nervousness the first week. And I thought, okay, this is really cool, And of course, the second week came and the attacks started coming. And, all the doubts Satan started putting in the head, who are you to be leading a Proverbs 31, group? You don't, you can't do this. You can't, all these lies, Satan's filling my head. And I'm starting to have anxiety and starting to have doubts. And so I came and I talked with Missy, and she shared she was having a little bit of anxiousness too. And so we prayed, and it just reminded me once again, I needed to reach out and ask for prayer. And so the rest of the week went pretty well. And the third week, even more. Just constant, some of you know things that have been going on in my life. I can't really get into all of it because we could be here all day. Distractions, and I had to go down to Phoenix, so I didn't even get my studies done the first 2 days. So then I'm trying to make up for lost time, and I'm just thinking, I can't do this. This is just too much. I got too much going on in my life. And then at Women's Prayer Wednesday morning, Diana shared with me, who was in my group the previous week, something I had spoken, and how much it blessed her, and how much it spoke to her, and how much it showed her. I'm like, okay, God, He's giving me these little nuggets. I am using you, Tracy. You just need to trust in me. Don't listen to the lies. Sit at my feet, rest with me. I can do this through you. And then the next 2 days was just craziness. And I said, that's it. I can't. Sue Zott was my co-leader, and I said, I'm calling Sue, I'm going to ask her, can you lead this week, this Friday? I'm like tapped out. And Thursday night, Sue called me and said, I'm not coming to Bible study tomorrow. Okay, Lord. So the Lord just kept showing me, Tracy, be committed. You can do this through me. Seek me, sit at my feet. You've got this, but, don't listen to the lies. So, once again, I got through it. And then that week, another leader got brought into my group with me. So I thought, all right, I'm out. Like, she's going to lead. No, Tracy, you got this, she says to me. You lead, So the next week, once again, the following week, that last fourth week, I was moving back into my house. I've been out of for 6 months. I had 2 skin cancer surgeries. My things were just craziness in my life. And once again, all these things coming into my head. And one of the husbands of the church shared with my husband how his wife came home and told him how blessed she was in that group. And it just happened to be the leader that was in that group with me. So it was one of the other leaders, and she had shared with her husband. So there again, God's giving me these little nuggets like, Tracy, I am using you. Don't listen to the lies. Trust in me. Sit at my feet. So I have to tell you, I was so relieved after the 4 weeks, like, whew, okay, I made it through. And here I am again. It's just like, okay, Lord, the Lord's not done with me. So basically what I wanted to share with you ladies is the things God did show me through this is, one, the power of prayer. Not just prayer, you praying, but the power of prayer of having others pray for you and with you. That's really, really important. Second, that we just need to be a willing vessel. And third, that we need to trust God, stay committed, and He will equip the unequipped. He will use you. So my encouragement to you is, some of you might be saying the same things I've been saying for the last 5 weeks. It's not my gift. I can't do it. It's too hard. I've got too much stuff going on in my life. I can't. But guess what? God can. And so I just wanted to share something that Pastor Raj had shared on Wednesday night. He said, when we yield our hearts to God, humbly submit to His will, be committed, He will equip you. He will use you. Nothing is too great for God. God has called us all to a purpose in this body. So my quest to you ladies is to step out in faith and be used by God and see how He will bless you like He blessed me. Thank you.